President of Jackson Civil War Muster, Daniel Pardee, and a reenactor, plus a member of the committee, plus a sponsor from Bailey Excavating, Jacob Bailey. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
And should I address you as private, or what's your rank?
My rank is a first lieutenant of the 1st Tennessee Company H Regiment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
First lieutenant.
Yes.
And Tennessee, are you north or south?
I portray Southern, even though we had many regiments from Tennessee who joined the Union and the Confederacy.
And we're getting ready for the Civil War muster, and it's coming up. What are the dates this year?
August 23rd and 24th, 2025 this year.
All right. We've been doing this for decades now in Jackson. And Jacob, every year you guys try to add some new features, and what are you looking at for 2025?
2025, we're making a couple changes, not a whole lot, a couple new things to the layout. There's going to be a railroad, mock railroad setup to showcase certain battles. And like you said, it's been something that's going on in Jackson forever. It's something that I loved since I was a kid. I can remember, my dad taking me when I was probably 5 or 6 years old for the first time, and I was hooked on it immediately, and been going back ever since. And then been fortunate to be able to be involved the last couple years. A couple years ago, helped them out. We built some trenches. They were able to do some different battles that showcased some fortifications and trenches. And then last year, I actually joined a regiment myself. I'm an artilleryman, and so that was a lot of fun. That was my first time reenacting. I don't have a full uniform yet. I still got parts and pieces, but it's a lot of fun. It's fun for the family. Like it's going to it when I was a kid sparked a lifelong love of history, and it's just a great thing in the community to be involved with, and I enjoy it.
And your kids, you get to take them and get them involved.
Yep,
in
they
it
all
too.
got to go last year and watch me fire off the cannon, so they enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think that's the highlight for a lot of the horses and the cannons. First Lieutenant, tell us a bit about the soldier you're portraying.
So I'm portraying my fourth cousin, Sam Watkins, who is 1st Tennessee Company H. He enlisted at age 21, and he survived the whole war. His regiment was basically decimated in 1864 at the Battle of Franklin, Tennessee. They went in with about 360 men, and in 5 hours, him and 6 others were the only survivors after that battle.
Wow.
So the battles we are portraying is the Battle of Telephany and Devil's Neck, which takes place in December of 1864 in South Carolina. So this is what's left of the Army of Tennessee, and under the new command of General Joseph Johnston, who is trying to recuperate and get as much men together as possible to make their final stands against Sherman's army, who are chasing them through the Carolinas after the burning of Atlanta, Georgia.
So this is late in the Civil War.
Correct.
And in the winter. So you've got, I would say, great winter uniform, but here it is, approaching 90 degrees.
Yes.
A little toasty to wear that.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
But we're out there to show the history of many people's ancestors and get to tell these soldiers' stories. And it's not just these soldier stories, but many of us reenactors are telling not just our ancestors, but our own stories as reenactors. And we welcome anybody to come up and ask as much questions as possible to us reenactors. You want to join, come up to us and ask us, how do I join? We will have Austin Blair Camp Number 7, Sons of the Union Veterans. We will also have Camp Claiborne, 2257, Sons of the Confederate Veterans there, with databases to help people trace if they have a relative or an ancestor who fought.
And how did you find out that you were related to a Civil War soldier?
So when I started, it was in 2000, and my family took me to the Jackson Civil War muster and got to walk around, see camp life, see the activities. And once the battle itself kicked off, I was hooked immediately. Also had a neighbor, Todd Holton, who is part of Jacob's artillery unit. He helped me along and joined up with the Sons of the Union, and they helped me research and come to find out from my own local town of Concord, I had a 4th great uncle who was in the 4th Michigan. And that's where my genealogy research and my love of history kicked off for 24 years now.
Wow. And it's really true that a lot of those reenactors got into it because they were interested and were attracted to the event, but then became even more invested in it by learning about their connection through their family to the Civil War.
Correct. And this is how these stories get out and get told, as we get to tell our family stories. Just as of right now, I've found about 317 relatives who fought on both sides.
No
And
kidding.
correct.
Wow.
And I try to tell those stories, each of those stories, to the public and to schools at school programs of how interesting history can be. And that's the point of history. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. And we learn from it so we do not repeat it in the future. That's why it's our duty as reenactors and historians and for our community is to protect the future of our past.
You guys take it pretty seriously.
Oh, definitely.
Jacob, I saw you talking to Todd Holton at the Bailey 50th anniversary party a couple of years ago. You had some reenactors at that event. Is that where you decided that you wanted to join a regiment?
Yeah, that was how I got introduced to that group and got in with them. But for our event, we wanted to do Jackson kind of history things, and so that's why we wanted to have like a Civil War muster kind of element to our event, and so that's going to grow a little bit this year. Daniel and his group is going to be coming and doing some showcasing for the muster there with the public. And Todd's group is great. They're fun to be a part of. One of the things I enjoy the most about reenacting, the little bit I got to do last year, is that everyone thinks the most important part or the most interesting part is when you walk out to the field or the cannon. But to me, it's the rest of the day. I mean, when they get like a 5 or 10 minute break, or a half hour to eat lunch or something, everyone will get their instruments out and they'll start playing period music, and they'll start discussing the details of certain battles, and it's all just really interesting how the whole group, there's such a shared interest of history, and seeing them all together, like it's fascinating. It's very interesting to be a part of.
Yeah, it looks to me like the experience is a lot like camping. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of that fun and camaraderie, and it's not really you're not really shooting at mm-hmm. people, but you spend a lot of time making sure the history is authentic. Now, how about for you and your family? Is there a connection? Do you have relatives? Were you able to do any tracing?
So I haven't, it's on my list to kind of branch out and find out how many other relatives there are, but the one I know of was Kinsey Kimmel. He was a private. I think it was the 8th Michigan Volunteer Cavalry Unit, and he joined when he was 39. Didn't serve very long. He was pretty old, and it was towards the end of the war when he joined, but the musket that he carried in the war has been passed down to the first grandson of every generation. So I have his musket, and that's one of my most treasured possessions, and something I've had since I was about 14 years old. And
you're also with the Michigan's Military Heritage Museum,
mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of Jackson Civil War historical objects in that museum.
Yep, yeah, there was a couple camps here in town. Camp Blair was the one on the site of where the museum is now, and there's a lot of Jackson history with the Civil War, and that's something we're looking to expand our collection with at the museum, is to showcase more of the Civil War period and Jackson's involvement.
All right, so it's the Battle of, how do you say it?
DeVoe's Neck.
DeVoe's Neck.
Yep.
And that happened in Tennessee?
No, this happened in South Carolina,
okay.
Both Telephany and DeVoe's Neck. So with the Battle of Telephany, shortly after that, basically the next day was DeVoe's Neck. It was another basically push through Sherman's army to attack Johnston's army.
So I recommend, this is really, I think a lot of people like to research the battles that you do ahead of time, so you know a lot more. It's like reading about Hamilton before you go to Broadway. Mm. And you can do that because it's public now, the Battle of DeVoe's Neck, and Saturday and Sunday, the 23rd and 24th. Anything else people need to know now? Do you need any help with anything?
We are always looking for volunteers. Please reach out to us through the JacksonCivilWarMuster.org, or find us personally and get in touch with us. Always looking for volunteers to help out with donation buckets, helping set up tents, help with guidance of traffic and other key points to help with this event. And I strongly recommend anybody to just come up and ask us reenactors with any questions, joining, just learning history. And reenacting actually originally started from these Civil War veterans because they wanted to teach the public this is what we went through and we don't want this to happen again. So as their sons, grandsons, and so on for each generation, we are here to live that legacy to show the dark times of our American history.
How about that? And will there be root beer?
Yes, Uncle John's root beer will be there. And
All right.
It's always a hit.
Good to see both. Thanks for coming in today. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
putting on the uniform on this super hot day. I hope we have a cooler weekend.
oh,
Next
we look
month.
forward to that.
Yeah. The Civil War Muster, presented by the Jackson Civil War Muster, and we thank the Vice President of the organization, Daniel Pardee, and from the board and sponsor from Bailey Excavating, Jacob Bailey. Well, next on JT